All right, all right. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. All right, all right, all right, all right. Once again, this is history class, ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? The truth is that the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and the oppressors, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Tonight's class title is America Hates the Children of Israel. The thing is a lot of us don't understand who the true children of Israel are. We believe it's those Europeans that are over in the Middle East fighting against the Palestinians and things like that. When I was young, that's who I truly believe was the children of Israel. I believe they were the Israelites as a kid, because everything that we saw it was oppressor. I thought Moses was white. I thought all of them white. So naturally, when I saw the Jews or the so-called Jewish man, I believed that they were the true people of the Bible, that who the Bible was talking about. Just like I said earlier, I believe that we were blessed just to be let in by them, not understanding that we were the true biblical Jews of the Bible. True understanding comes from when you read that Bible, you begin to understand, if you're taught properly, like here in the ISUPK, how we teach the Bible properly, and people begin to wake up and understand that those are not the people of the Bible, but we are truly the people of the Bible. Just like right here on this sign, you see the sign right here. These are the 12 tribes right here. So these tribes that we see right here, the West Indians, you know, that's the dudes from the Caribbean, the Jamaicans, right? When I was young, the dudes, the Jamaicans used to live up off of Park Heights, and they used to be shooting guns at night. We were scared to go through their block because they was wild. You know what I mean? Back in the 70s, into the early 80s, man, when you came over there, because I lived on Park Heights and Spalding, the other side of Spalding where the Jamaicans lived at, man, you left them alone because they was wild. You know what I mean? And you got the Haitians right here, the Dominicans, the Guatemalans, from Guatemala to Panama. We got the Puerto Ricans right here too. You see, that's Ephraim. So when you see the tribe of Ephraim, you know that's the Puerto Ricans. Or when you see the Puerto Ricans, you know they are from the tribe of Ephraim. You see right here, we got Manasseh, which is the Cubans. We got Gad, which are the North American Indians. We got Reuben, which are the Seminole Indians, and we look at them, right? And if you look back through antiquity and look at a lot of the artifacts and a lot of the history, you'll see that a lot of the things that we were told to do in the Bible, they kept a lot of those traditions. They kept the traditions of wearing fringes, bordered in blue. They kept a lot of that. You understand? They didn't eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster like we do, being brought here to America and taught by our oppressor. You understand? We got the Naphtali, which are the Argentinas, from Argentina to Chile. And we got Asher, which is Colombians, from Colombia from Colombia to Uruguay. And we got Issachar, which is the Mexicans. You seen the ICE jumped out on them on Eastern Avenue right there at the Home Depot. What was that, the day before yesterday? Or was that last week? Was that Friday? One of those days anyway. That's the tribe. When we see those Mexicans sitting out there and they waiting to get work and things like that, that's the tribe of Issachar. You understand? They have a rich tradition in working hard. We do too. You know what I mean? But we've been ground into powder, so much so that we become like our oppressor in America. You understand? We believe that us living in the ghettos, that's normal life for us, which is not. You understand? We shouldn't be living like that. America is bringing in, if you look at them, they're bringing in all of these other European immigrants and letting them live high off the hog. You understand what I'm saying? And we struggling from day to day, working 2 and 3 jobs, destroying ourselves. They could care less. They don't. This is the reason why the title of today's class is America Hates the Children of Israel. You understand? Think about this too. Think about all of the nations that come over here and benefit from America, right? All of the nations that come over here and benefit from America. You have the Ethiopians, You have the Africans, you have the Asians, you have the East Indians. You understand what I'm saying? And not to mention now you have the Ukrainians over here. Soon you're gonna have the whole slaw of them over here. You understand what I'm saying? You got all of these other nations that come over here from all of these other countries and they get benefits. But we live here every day and we work hard every day and they give us nothing and they cry about it, right? Go ahead, sis, what you got?
But one thing about us as a nation,
right?
We know how to get along. When
right.
things go awry, we know how to survive.
Let me touch on that real quick, right? The sister said, you know, we know how to get along, we know how to survive. Listen, let's put that into perspective, right? Coming into the truth, we begin to know how to survive and we know how to get along. Our people are out there today destroying ourselves. We out here unaliving at an incredible rate. Our own people. We are the only nation of people in America that are set to destroy our own people. You understand? Think about this, right? You have crime by all the nations in America. All nations commit crime, but we're the face of crime in America. You understand? So in the things that we do are magnified. You understand what I'm saying? And being magnified, we have to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. We have to find the morality that the Most High gave us. And we have to paint a different picture. You understand? Because every time you see pictures now of black people, we either are unalivers, we are either hoes, we are either drug dealers. That's the persona. What you got, bro?
I mean, it's a negative perception.
Right. It's a negative, but it's a propaganda that America has created. And the propaganda has sunk into us so much so that now we're living out that propaganda. You understand what I'm saying? The propaganda has sunk into us so much so that we're living it out. Now, every time you see a TV show, what's the show you watch? Housewives shows, the Black Inks, any kind of reality show on TV. When you see black people on those shows, it's always the negative. But think about this, right? Think about this and understand this, right? And I don't knock my babe for watching those shows, but she knows how I get when I see our people showing out and millions of people show up to watch this. She know how I get, and I try to be quiet because I try to be quiet. But when you go out, when we go out as people and people identify us as that right there, it irritates. You understand? And this is the reason why we try in the Salakia. We here in the UPK paint a different picture. We paint the real picture. We actually whitewash what has been whitewashed about us. Our brothers and sisters suffer so much so that we'll do anything to make money. We the only people that say we gotta chase the bag, no matter what. Other nations of people have enough dignity to say, I'm not doing that. Think about the years. You know how many karate movies I got. How many times have we seen Jackie Chan in a 1972 movie? A karate movie. A bunch of times, right? Jackie Chan refuses to play a criminal part. Why does he refuse to do that? Because he refuses to shame his people. That's the thing that we lost being here in slavery in America. America hates the children of Israel so much so that they'll mold an image, beat us down, and then we become that image. We begin to act out that image. And the thing is it's only a 100% of the people that they see. Those are the people that they put on TV and make that image of us. So when people from other countries come over here and they see us, they project that image on us, even though only 100% of those people act like that. You understand what I'm saying? This is the projection that has been placed on us. This is the reason why us as the ISUPK, we come in and we go out on those streets and we speak to our people. We change the moral concept in the brains of our people. Think about this. Everybody that's in here right now, in the ISUPK right now, was on that other side of that line. If what we teaching does not work, then how did we get here? So it's important, even you being here in this class right now, even you hearing this right now, it's important that you transform yourself to erase that image and then get into class more and then bring other people so that we can transform everybody, so we can change the image of our people right now. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we have to do. That's our duty. That's our job. That's what we're supposed to be doing. You understand? America hates the children of Israel. I got a couple of articles that I want to read up on. I was trying to wait for my brother to get, but he'll be here in a minute. He said he'll be here. He's only a couple of minutes away. But I got an article in this book right here, Medical Apartheid. Let me go to the right page. Let me get the right page. Right here. Here we go. This is Medical Apartheid, and I'm going to tell y'all can open your Bibles and go to Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter, in the 10th verse. And meanwhile, while you're doing that, I'm going to read this. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm going to skip down because it's a pretty much a lot. And this is America's bioterrorism targeting blacks. You understand? During segregation, the long last gasp of American apartheid, the legal standard of separate but equal, meant more than racial separation. It meant inequality sanctioned by law and enforced by violence and terror. Listen, remember Martin Luther King integrated us into these people. We wanted to be separate. We didn't want to be with these people. But Martin Luther King pushed that integration on us. And the thing that I say every week, every time we talk about integration, I always say that anything that you integrate into, you become that thing. You understand what I'm saying? Anytime you integrate into something, you become that thing. That's what integration is. It means if you come into something, you're going to become, or you're going to reform to what that thing is. You remember, you ever see Star Trek: The Next Generation? You remember that entity called the Borg? What did the Borg do? It came into everything. It made you think that this was a good place to be, right? Then once you came into the Borg, you became a part of the Borg, and the Borg destroyed everything that you were, and you were now the Borg. Right? Exactly. It was a delusion. It was a lie. You understand? It was propaganda. This is what America does. When you integrate into America, everything that you are is destroyed. You hear me? Everything that you are is destroyed and you become America. Listen, the Most High told us not to make marriages with them. Understand this. Not to integrate your daughters into their sons, or their son or their daughters into your sons. Marriages even mean integrating and coming together. A marriage is when you come together and you become one. The thing about America is you don't become one with America. You become America. You take on America's values. You take on America's customs and culture. This is the reason why we celebrate Christmas. This is the reason why we celebrate Thanksgiving. This is the reason why we celebrate Memorial Day. This is the reason why we celebrate Labor Day, 4th of July, and all of these things like this. Even though they're erasing us out of the history books, but we're so Americanized that we don't think about we're being wiped away. The only thing we know is we are American. We are the Star-Spangled Banner. We are the world. You understand what I'm saying? This is what integration does. So in integration, what happened in integration? We wanted to sit at the counters with them, right? We wanted to sit at the counters with them. We wanted to eat at their counters. We wanted to be in their movie theaters. We wanted to sit on their toilets, right? Well, in wanting to do all of that, what did we do? What happened? Say that again. We lost us, but more than that, what else? That's true what you said. We lost us, yeah.
We started to want to have the same thing they had and be like them and emulate. I mean, you know, just have what they have and have equal rights and do everything like them.
The sister said we wanted to have everything like them, be like them, have equal rights. That's right, but it's more than that. More than that.
So, I mean, we wanted to be like, but we emulated everything that they did. So
Right.
when they put the shiny or wavy or whatever,
Right.
and it's not them the history, our history. If we wanted waves, you want, I mean, but
Wanted the straight hair. But more, wait a minute. That's true, right? Listen. That's true, right? But more than that, we gave up our businesses. We gave up our schools. We gave up our hospitals, our banking. Listen, understand this, right? When you give up your education system, who teaches you? Say that again. They do. Sister said they do. Listen, when you give up your education system, you become educated by your oppressor. So now, not only are you trying to live out the oppressor's life, but now you're beginning to think as the oppressor. Your goals are the oppressor's goals. Think about this. What's something that we say every day? Every day, I'm not going to say every day, but as we're coming up in life, what do we say? I got to get out of school to do what?
Get a job.
Get a job. How many of us say, I got to get out of school so that I can start my own business? How many of us go to school for business management and not business development? You understand what I'm saying? See, so we stop thinking as we think, and now we are thinking as the oppressor. The oppressor is about capitalism, and his whole main frame is to put the propaganda in us enough to make us think we have to be a part of this board. And being a part of the board or being a part of America, we have to work for America. We have to be America's slaves. So now think about this, right? How many of us out here right now are working 2 and 3 jobs? How many of us are struggling with the one job we got? How many of us can't even live and survive and get the things that we really deserve because we're not making enough? Well, listen, America feeds you just enough to have you hold on. You understand what I'm saying? Just enough that you don't perish, but not enough for you to thrive. Enough to survive, but not enough to thrive. You understand what I'm saying? Who got that scripture? Anybody got that scripture? Yeah, can you speak loud for me?
Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10.
You said Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. I want everybody to hear you on the mic, though. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis. Yeah, go ahead. You can read, can't you?
I can
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Trust thine enemy.
Let them know where you at first.
Ecclesiasticus 12:10.
Right?
Never trust thine enemy.
Listen, the scripture says, never trust thine enemy. And that's the problem with us as Israel today. We're too trusting. We trust in our enemy. America is our enemy. Think about us being enslaved in America, right? Only an enemy enslaves a person. An enemy enslaves his enemies. So if we were enslaved by America, that means we are the enemies of America. You understand? We are the slaves of America. So we are the enemies of America. And a lot of us, we said this earlier, a lot of us truly believe that we are America. We are the red, white, and blue. We are the stars and stripes. I always tell people in 1992, remember when they had the Dream Team? Was that in 1992? The Dream Team, the first Dream Team? Listen, I was the first one out there. God bless. We are the greatest. America's number. You understand what I'm saying? Because that spirit of America, the propaganda that America has, sinks in. So much so that we fall right in line and we become that board. We become the enemy of our own people. Go ahead, sis.
To touch on that, I remember when I went into the army,
Right.
and
Oh, you was in the oppressor's army, huh?
I never possessed that spirit. I never was like, I'm gonna fight for my country. I'm gonna defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I never had that spirit. That's why I used to get in trouble with the
So, but now listen.
I could never get that general. I could never, like, we had 10 general orders.
Right.
To memorize.
Hold right there, right? Hold right there. What made you go into the army?
What made me go into the army was, one, I didn't want to go to college.
Right.
I wanted to travel.
Right.
I wanted to get out of Baltimore. And I wanted to just explore.
All right, so stop right there where you at, right? I got that. Hold on for a sec. Hold your thoughts. Hey, nephew, sit over here with my man right there. There you go. All right. We back. Where was we at? What were we saying? I said, hold on, right? Okay. You said you wanted to travel. You wanted to
I wanted to
travel.
I wanted to test my physical ability.
Right.
I wanted to see.
So let me ask you.
If I was strong enough to get you basic training, I wanted to.
So let me
prove something.
Let me ask you a question. So you had to go to the army to travel. You couldn't travel. So hold up, stop, hold up. Now, hold up. I'm going to ask you another question. You couldn't test your strength and abilities in any other way? Hold up, wait a minute. What was the other one you said? Now, listen. Listen, so you had to go to the army to get out of Baltimore, right? Hold that thought, right? Because you could have got out of Baltimore. You ain't had to do that. That's not what I'm saying to you, and I'm not downgrading you. I'm not downgrading you because you were in the Army, right? But again, this is the propaganda that they use on us, right? Because remember, I remember being little because I wanted to be in the Army too. You understand? Because they used to always say, hey, be all you can be. This is where you come. Hey, if you need that education, come over here and you can get it right here and you can see the world. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to get away from my mother too. You understand what I'm saying? But this is the propaganda that America uses on us to get us in there. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not belittling you because you joined that. I'm proud of you and I'm proud that you made it out and safe. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing now is our brothers and sisters, our little ones that we got here right now, we don't want to let them get into that because we already know what the truth of America is. America believes in sending out people across seas to die on foreign lands. You understand what I'm saying? But we believe in fighting for our people right here. I'd rather die for my people here than die somewhere in a foreign land for somebody who hates me. Because there are no people that America is fighting against right now who respects and likes us. You understand what I'm saying? So every time we step outside of America and we go fight for America, we're putting our lives in jeopardy for people who hate us on both sides of the line. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead. What you great say, sis?
Like I said, if I may, also another incentive was the recruiter was talking about all this money. See, I was 19 years old. I was 19 years old when I signed up. So he's talking to me and he, trying to give me all these incentives. You do this MOS, you do this job, you get $3,000 and you win this and all that.
Did you hear what you just said?
Money.
What you just said?
Money.
There you go. And see, listen, because we've been destroyed in America, because we've been slaves for so long, because we've never had anything in America, they put anything in front of us as an incentive. It's propaganda. And it makes us believe we can get ahead. It's an easier way to get ahead. You understand what I'm saying? Now think about how many people came in from that Afghan war or that, what was that? That was the Afghan war. Desert Storm with. Well, listen, I got a friend of mine. She came home years ago. Her disability just came through because she got all kinds of health issues from being over there, right? The chemicals and all of that, right? In Desert Storm, they had all kinds of chemicals. She been fighting for almost over 20 years. And I believe her disability just came through 3 years ago. So think about that. Go ahead.
I know we can't hear the dialogue between both of them.
Right.
Trying to find a mic.
Oh, that's why I was trying to repeat what she was saying. Yeah. It could be, but I'm just gonna repeat what they saying. No, yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I don't want to knock nothing off. Who sent this? Okay. Hold on for a sec. Give me a sec. We just doing the scripture right now. Ecclesiasticus 12:10.
It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Hey, listen, the scriptures say, I'm gonna say it again. The scriptures say, never trust thine enemy. And that's the problem with us as Israel right now. We're too trusting of a people. We are the very people that trust our enemies. Think about this. Every time something happens, and I understand the crime in our communities, But the crime in our communities is a created situation. They put us in a situation so that crime can happen, so that we can start crying for more police. And when the police come in, they unalive us. You understand? It's a cycle. We call for one thing, and the very thing that we call for unalives us. It destroys us because we're under our enemy. And when you're under your enemy, what respect does your enemy have to have for you? What respect does your enemy have for you? Let alone have to have. He doesn't have to have any respect. And they show us that every day. They show us that at work. They show us that when we get paid. They show us that on the street. They show us that in the facilities that they allow us to live in. They show us that in our neighborhoods. Think about this, right? What was that? Just 3 years ago, they were doing trash removal twice a week. In our neighborhoods, it's once a week now, but in the oppressor's neighborhood, they still got twice a week. Think about that. Let that sink in. You understand what I'm saying? Think about that. We don't complain about the things that really matter. We don't complain about educating our own children. We complain about bull crap. You understand what I'm saying? Why the store closed so early? We thinking about stuff that really don't matter. You understand? Why they got bike lanes? You understand what I'm saying? Even though that pissed me off. You understand what I'm saying? But America does things to take our minds here, and they doing something underhanded and crooked with the other hand. You understand what I'm saying? So they showing us this hand and doing something underhand with this one. You understand what I'm saying? The scripture tells us never trust thine enemy. Go ahead.
For like as iron rusted.
Say that again.
For like as iron rusted.
Go ahead.
So is his wickedness.
It says, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Think about the iron. Think about the properties of iron. Now, I work with iron at my job. When I cut that iron and I shave it down, that iron's nice, smooth, and shiny. It's beautiful. If I sit that iron to the side, and if I don't put any oil on it, and I don't oil it down, eventually you start to see the rust spots start to come up on iron immediately, just like that. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. If left alone to his own devices, the evilness will eventually show through with our oppressor. If you sit around him long enough, if you are around white people long enough, the evilness will eventually come out. And a lot of times, the first thing that happens is words come out first. When you hear somebody say, nigger, oh, it's niggers. Oh, I'm so sorry. See, that's the rust coming through. That's rust. That's the true nature of them. That's the true feelings. Oh, he ain't mean nothing by it. And that's the first thing we say. Oh, he ain't mean nothing by it. Now you're starting to see black people start slapping people out now. You understand what I'm saying? Because people starting to wake up and say, nah, he meant that. You understand what I'm saying? But at one time, oh, he ain't really mean that. He ain't really mean it. People get upset and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? As iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. If you're around white people long enough, eventually the evil side is going to come out. Whether they're in the same hellhole you're in, or whether they're in the top floor of the Belvedere. Eventually, that wickedness is going to show through. Just because somebody got a lot of money don't mean that they can hold back on what's in their nature. A beast nature is to kill and destroy. Our oppressor's a beast. And we have to understand that. A lot of us don't understand it. A lot of us sit in the presence of our unaliver. Think about the sister that went to the sleepover with the 7 girls. She's the only black girl. Just so happens she's the only one that died that night. Think about the young brother that went to the all-white school and got his ass beat up in the bathroom. Oh, they were just playing. Oh, it was nothing. It's harmless. Oh no, we had a talk with their parents. And just imagine if brothers would have did that to a white kid. They would have been locked up. You understand what I'm saying? Just think about the sister. I said, Sister Salakia, please forgive me. Think about the white woman that got raped in Central Park.
Oh, and the Central Park 5.
But I'm going to tell you what's worse than that. She was the one that said it wasn't them, but they locked them up anyway. How about one of the brothers when they eventually got out, how about one of the brothers unalived himself? Because all kinds of horrors was happening to them while they was in there. Now, not by oppressors, but by our own. So we destroy ourselves for the oppressor. Just like when you seeing brothers and sisters on the street unaliving each other on the street, we doing the job of the oppressor. What does the Bible say? The Bible say you are of your father, the devil. When you follow in the footsteps of the oppressor, you are of your father, the devil. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Their wickedness eventually shows through. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away.
Read that one more time for me.
Verse 11. He humbled himself.
Hey, listen. Our oppressor humbles himself, and this is what the oppressor does. The oppressor makes him he gets you comfortable. He humble. What do you need? Oh, how can I help you? You ever seen somebody coming in? Oh, listen. I'm here to help you. Hey, Bob, get the cuffs. Get the cuffs. I'm here to help you. This is every time one of us steps into a jailhouse or a courthouse, they make you believe that they're here to help you. They humble themselves. They get you comfortable. They get you relaxed. Go ahead.
Good. Say if they got hot sauce in their pots, but you know what I mean. Say that she ain't black.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You understand? They get you comfortable.
Yeah.
You understand? They get you comfortable. Go ahead.
So he humbled himself and go crouching. Yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Verse 12.
No. You good right there. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Listen, we have to beware of our enemy. The first thing that we have to do is we have to be aware that this is our enemy. Then we have to be aware that he is out to do me harm. We always believe that think about this, right? Even in the most softest situation, he is out to harm us, just like the shows we was talking about. Those shows paint an image of us. When other people, hold on for a minute, when other people come over here and they see us, it affects how they act towards us. It seems simple in the beginning, right? But it magnifies itself when we're around the people from other nations. Simple shows that degrade us, that always make us look like we're all from the LGBTQ community, that makes us all look like we're drug dealers, to make us all look like, you know, we're wife beaters. You understand? To make all of our women look like hoes, to make them all look silly. You understand? So when people from other nations come over here, that's the first thing they think. Oh, I know how you like your chicken. You want some watermelon? These are the things that are said to us. Like white people don't like chicken.
Tear it up. They tear it up. But I see them all doing all the time.
You understand what I'm saying? Like white people don't like chicken. Like nobody else. We the only niggas that like chicken and watermelon. I mean, come on now. So we the only ones got big lips? All of us ain't got big lips. But you've seen the caricatures, right? We've seen the images of us, right? These are the things. This is how you know your oppressor hates you. This is how you know who your enemy is. Who has control of radio and TV? These are the people, but these are the people that allow these things to go out. Let me ask you a question, because you said the so-called Jewish man, right? Does he make himself look bad on TV? If you say anything against him, what is it? Anti-Semitic. Just like the sister said, anti-Semitic. How can anything be anti-Semitic when you are not Semitic? What they're doing to us is anti-Semitic.
Right.
That's what we have to understand. You understand? What they're doing to us is anti-Semitic. They are not a Semitic people. The reason why we have history class, because we have to learn who we are. We have to learn who the other people are. We have to learn who the other people aren't. That's the reason why we come into these classes. This is a teaching tool because everybody that comes into this class learns. Then we go out and we teach the people on the street. The people on the street eventually come in, they learn, and then are sent back out. You understand? To bring more people in. Listen, the scripture says what? This is a milk scripture, Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourself together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Listen, it says gather yourself together. That means these other people are not for us. So we have to come together. Gather yourself together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Understanding that we are a nation of people that are not desired is very important. Because if you don't, you're going to end up at a slumber party with 7 oppressors, and you're going to end up unalive. This is what happens. Listen, it's not like we haven't seen it happen. Think about how many times we've seen our brothers and sisters go out into the woods in a hunting party with the oppressor. Think about how many times we've seen our brothers and sisters hanging from trees in 2024. And I'm pretty sure it's happening in 2025. Never trust thine enemy. For like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. What you got, Darash? I know you've been waiting. You've been waiting patiently. That's my nephew right there. My nephew has been waiting. Go ahead. What you got, nephew? Just there you go. Woo. Just like, how old are you, Darash? 8 years old, just like Emmett Till. Where he learned that from? His Slovakia, his father from being in here. You understand what I'm saying? That's exactly right. Just like Emmett Till. For like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. You understand? Go ahead. Where we at? Where we at?
Yeah, verse 12 now. You want 12?
No, we can drop that because I'm gonna read some more because I ain't even read that much of this. Matter of fact, yeah.
We got a comment. Hold on.
Oh shit! Dang. All right, I stopped. I think I stopped right up in here, but we're gonna go to that next page right here, down to the highlight, down to the highlight. Hey, listen, our oppressor humbles himself because our oppressor wants us to get comfortable with him. Comfortable enough that he can make all kinds of laws. He can erase us from history. He can lock us up at will. He can do anything he wants. This is the reason why the Most High tells us to gather together, O nation not desired. We have to create our community within America. We can be in America, but we don't have to be of America. Right. We don't have to accept the evil that America does. You understand? You got something else, Darash? You got something big? Excuse me. You got something, sis? You got something, sis? You good? We good? All right, go ahead. Alizah. You got something, bro? Okay. All right. Just making sure. Go ahead.
This is medical apartheid, chapter 360, third paragraph. Despite U.S. insistence that it was only developed in defense of biological weapons, the Central Intelligence Agency in 1952 entered into a partnership to produce chemical and biological weapons with first strike capability.
Go ahead. Yeah.
The Army Special Operations Division laboratory at Fort Detrick, Maryland, served as the site of the Joint Army CIA program.
Hey, listen, that's right here. Fort Detrick, Maryland. Go ahead.
Program dubbed MK Naomi. Fort Detrick Army Chemical Corps laboratory bred more than 4 million mosquitoes per day.
Listen, 4 million mosquitoes a day. Listen to what they're doing with these mosquitoes. Listen. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. The oppressor lives to destroy us. You understand? Go ahead.
Release 4 million mosquitoes per day and release them in hordes around Florida, including near Carver Village. This was an experiment to determine whether these droning bringers on the wing, disease vectors in medical parlance.
Listen, it said near Carver Village. Anybody know what Carver Village is? Carver Village was a project first built in Florida named after George Washington Carver. It's where they put black people in almost the first tenement buildings, in the project buildings. At that time, it was revolutionary. So it was different. You understand? So anything new, anything new is going to be popping. You understand what I'm saying? But it was named after George Washington Carver. This is where it was all black people in this tenement building. They set loose 4 million mosquitoes infested with disease at this tenement building. Go ahead.
Could be used as the first strike biological weapons to spread yellow fever and other infectious diseases. Obscenities among foreign troops during wartime.
Listen, remember how they bombarded Gaza, right? They say Gaza was the petri dish that they could experiment, right? But remember, blacks in America was the first Gaza before Gaza. We were getting destroyed like that before Palestinians ever even was even thought of. You understand what I'm saying? All of those experiments that they were doing and that they doing over there in the Palestinians, they was already doing here to us in America. They were already bombing different neighborhoods and buildings. We're gonna hear this in this book right here. We always think about the MOVE movement in Philadelphia in 1985, that they bombed the MOVE movement. They destroyed 3 city blocks and could care less because it was a black neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? The bones of those children and those people were found at Harvard a few years ago. People couldn't find their loved ones. Their loved ones was up in Harvard being experimented on. Now, if that's not the devil, somebody tell me what the devil is. Go ahead, Alazar.
This was not the government's first local exercise in such biological friendly fire. A similar 1955 experiment had also targeted black earth.
There you go.
But because it bordered a white development, people of both races were sick. Such explosions had already tripled Florida's whooping cough cases within a year, resulting in a dozen deaths after a whooping cough virus was released in Palmetto.
Go ahead.
On Florida's west coast, Carver Village was more precisely targeted and was subject to the same strain.
You hear that? Black people were specifically targeted and subject to the same strain. Our oppressor uses us. And this is what integration got us. Integration got us to be a, what do they call it?
Manipulated.
Say that again?
Manipulated.
Well, not just manipulated. Of course we was that, but it got us to be an experimenting tool. You need somebody to experiment on. Let's go down to the projects. It's closely, nothing but black people down there. We could drop this in there. Think about this, right?
So more like guinea pigs.
There's a law where they can experiment on so many people in a population every year. When you see those, what's the names going across I remember one time I was out Owings Mills. There's a black community out Owings Mills. They came through like at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and they was talking about they was spraying for the mosquitoes, but they spraying this stuff in the whole community, and this fogging up the whole community. And they came through in trucks. They still experimenting today. Mind you, this was only 5 years ago. Could be 6 years now. They have a law where they can experiment and they can drop something on so many people. I remember we were standing outside one day and plane went across and these little black things was coming out of the sky. It felt like little.
If I may, at Frank 2 years ago, they unleashed a whole, I looked up in the sky, it was helicopters. And I'm thinking it was a police helicopter because the airframe was almost over. It was the last day of the airframe. All of a sudden, about 5 minutes later, all of these nets everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And who was on stage? Ron Isley. I don't see how he got with it.
Right.
He was on stage singing his song. Nets was attacked. It was all you see was pictures going in straight from the edge.
But and this is the thing, right?
I was like, oh my God, this is biological warfare. Let's try to get us out this fall.
No, it's not to get you out of the park, but it's to experiment different things on us. Think about the Tuskegee experiment, right? When if they putting syphilis in you, and then they acting like they giving you a dose of something to cure it, but they only giving you saline, make you think they trying to cure it. They wanted to see over the years how syphilis affects the body. Listen, exactly. So how many, think about the men that they gave it to and then they transferred it to their wives. Not only that, think about the people who had it and then had children. So instead of curing that child when it's born, let's see what happens to the child. Over the years, let's see what happens to the brain, how it affects the brain. You understand what I'm saying? This is the devil that we speak of. This is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Go ahead, Oliver.
Yeah. Which drove up 1955 infection and death rates. And 8% of those 1,080 whooping cough cases affected children 9 years old and under. By 1960, Carver Village residents had been plagued by a rash of mysterious illnesses, including the symptoms of dengue and yellow fever and deaths.
Listen, deaths. That's the most important right there. Because listen, they take those bodies after death and now they get to experiment on them. Think about it. This is the 1950s. You think we ain't got no power right now? Think about back then. Think about it. They pretty much can do anything they want back then. They half want to make us think they helping us now, but back then it didn't really matter. You feel me? You can drop that, right? You can go to I got a book right here. Let me see that book right there. This book that we just got all of this from, right? It's Medical Apartheid. Who's that? Harriet Washington. Medical Apartheid. This is an excellent book to have right here. Medical Apartheid. It tells all of the things, mostly all of the things that they did to us, all the way through up to the 2000s. This is an excellent book. If you get a chance, Medical Apartheid. We're gonna go to page 145 on that one. Yeah. I'm gonna grab the scripture first, because we're gonna go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. I got that for you, all right. I got that. I'm gonna read that. You gonna read the book. I'm gonna take some duty too. I'm gonna take some duty too. All right. Go ahead. You can you see where I got it highlighted, say blacks betrayed in a Revolutionary War. And listen, sis, this is what we was talking about earlier. Talking about how we go into the army, into the armed services and things like that. How, you know, they take advantage of us. The propaganda gets us in there. And then all of a sudden they flip the script on us. They lie to us. And then next thing you know, we on our backside. You feel me? What's the title of that?
It's the chapter of the book.
The chapter.
The chapter is Blacks Betrayed in Revolutionary War.
Go ahead, read that for me.
In November 1775, Lord Dunmore, the British royal governor of Virginia, proclaimed that all slaves able and willing to bear arms for the British would be liberated.
You hear that? And think about that. Think about that in the ears of a slave. Right? You're gonna be liberated. You fight for us, you'll be liberated. Come with us. We're gonna set you free. Only thing we asking for you is just that you fight with us. You need an education? Come here. You want to see the world? Come here. You understand? That's the same propaganda that they use. You want to see the world? Come in here. Go ahead. What you going to say, Oliver?
And I feel like in the 1700s, of course, that sound was magnificent to like a slave. If they tell you, I need to kill some white boys,
Mm-hmm.
and I need my freedom,
Right.
come on, man. Like, that's a win-win right there. Like,
But think about it, right? It's a win-win. Just like you said, you get to unalive and you get to be free.
Yeah.
What is that? If you get to unalive and be free, what is that? What does that make you?
Just
What does it make you, though?
a hero.
Makes you a citizen. Makes you free. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the thing that gets us. If I can get an education coming in here, if I can see the world, you know, because we're not used to doing that. We're not used to going to Paris and France. We're not used to going to Europe. Us being over here, we're not used to seeing Africa, things like that. If I can go in here and I can see the world, it's worth it. That's a win-win. I ain't got to pay for it. You understand what I'm saying? And I get to fulfill my dream. Listen, if I go into this Revolutionary War, I get to unalive my enemy and I get freedom. This is the propaganda that America uses, right? Listen, the title is America Hates the Children of Israel. This is why they constantly lie to us. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why they constantly lie to us. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. All of that stuff that America says to us is so sweet, sounds so good. It makes us believe in America. Your heart becomes red, white, and blue. We bleed red, white, and blue. You understand what I'm saying? This is what happens. America pumps us up, makes us believe if you come in here, all of your dreams will be fulfilled. That's the magic. That's the witchcraft. You ever heard of witchcraft? This is witchcraft. This is the thing that makes you go from saying this is my enemy to, well, maybe they ain't all so bad. Maybe some of them, we can get along with some of them. We can. We can get along with some of them. What you got, Darash?
Our people say that some of them is not that bad or good, but some of them that will help us get get out of getting killed and getting beat to death.
Exactly. Exactly. Listen now. Listen. He said, "Give me the some of them. Give me the some of them." You understand?
Right.
That is good. And let's get them to help us. Now understand this, right? Understand this. In the civil rights movement, you had oppressors in the civil rights movement, right? Every march that we see right now, we see oppressors in those marches, right? But let me ask you a question. Those oppressors that are in those marches, how much power do they have? How much power do they have? Listen to this, right? This is how Christianity is spread. The oppressors that are in the march with us are the ones that have no power. But their power is to make us believe that they have power that will help us. Christianity was spread in the same way. When Christianity was spread, right? How was Christianity spread? It was spread like that, but it's a certain way that they go about it.
Fellowship.
Not fellowshipping. I'm not gonna say that. I can't give you that one. I want to give it to you, but I can't give it to you. Right?
Spread the word.
Let me. I'm gonna give it to you. Right? When Christianity was spread, let's go back into the medieval time. Right? When Christianity was spread, what they would do, what the oppressors would do, they would send in the priests and the monks, the soft people. They would get them to talk to you sweetly, entice your mind, make you believe that Christianity is the way to go. This is the way this is Christianity. God loves you. God loves everybody. He wants everybody to be a Christian. And then the people would feel so soft and okay, we'll become Christian. Well, every once in a while they would come across that little town or that village that would say, hey, we don't believe in that. Man, get up out of here with that. We don't want to hear that. Then what would they do? The priests and the monks would leave. Then the warriors would come in. They would come in and begin to chop heads off, chop bodies up, and things like that. They would spread it by the sword. The people who didn't want to change over, they unalived them. If everybody in the village refused to do it, they burned the whole village with everybody in there and moved to the next village. Listen, this is what America does with democracy today. We said that earlier. This is what democracy is. Democracy is spread by the sword. You understand? Give me 1 second. Democracy is spread by the sword. America goes into a destabilized country. They say, hey, look, we're going to give you aid. We'll give you anything you need to rebuild and become the democracy that you need to be. Only thing is we need you to side with us when it's time to go to war with them. If you refuse that, okay, we'll roll out, put sanctions on them. Anybody that does business with them, put sanctions on them. Then what do you have after that? What you have is a Cuba, a country that's been sanctioned since 1959. Looks like they're in the 60s. They're still sanctioning Cuba to this day. Think about this. Everybody that's in Congress today, everybody that's in the Senate today, none of them were alive when Cuba was first sanctioned. So let me ask you a question. Why are they still sanctioning Cuba today?
Y'all wanna fall under there?
1959. Not in Congress. They ain't been in there that long. But listen, right? Evil is handed down from generation to generation to generation when it comes to the oppressor. This is what they do. Where you at right there?
The free blacks who followed Dunmore was tricked. In fact, the British treated slaves as captive property.
You hear that? They came in and they were treated as captive property. Think about the brothers and sisters that was in that Desert Storm that didn't get any help or any relief from the stuff that happened to them over there. Think about the brothers and sisters that are still fighting for it. These are slaves fighting for something that our oppressor refuses to give to them. You understand what I'm saying? Look at what's happening to us. This is what happens when you trust your enemy. Democracy, Christianity, it's all the same. Spread the same way. It's all a lie. They want to make you believe that this is something that's going to help you. You understand? Coming with us and fighting with us. If you war with us, we'll reward you. I have yet to see anybody be rewarded yet. What you got, Daraj?
Reward you with death.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing they have for us. Daraj said they will reward us with death, and that's exactly what they've been doing. That's exactly what they've been doing. This is the reason why we got to get our children back up in these classes. This is the reason why we got to get our brothers and sisters. This is the reason why we got to get parents back up in here. Fill these seats up. We got a lot of seats in here. You know what I mean? We got a lot of room up in here. You know what I mean? We got a lot of room up in here. But eventually, listen, we're going to have people falling out the doors in here. Because listen, World War III is underway.
Right.
Believe it or not, World War III is already underway. Look at what's happening. Oppressor fighting oppressor. Oppressor is warring with oppressor. A house divided against itself cannot stand. America is divided. Listen, America has never been united. It has always been the divided states of America. I think I said this last week, right? How can you go from state to state and laws change from state to state? That's not united. That's divided. How can you have blue and red states? That's not united. That's divided. Democrat and Republican. That's not united. That's divided. In one West, it's one West, one truth. You understand? One West. We all on one accord with one truth. We one West. This is united right here. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group, mosque, Christian organization, or anything like that. You understand? We go out here, we not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. That's what One West is. Where we at?
Shipping a few of them to freedom in Canada, but most were reassigned into slavery in the British West Indies. Some were returned to the British colony of Sierra Leone in West Africa. A few escaped from bondage in the confusion of war and migrated to either Canada or Florida as free people. About 5,000 blacks served in the British Army and Navy in non-combat status. In the end, a British promise of freedom for all, in fact, was freedom for a very few.
Think about this, right? Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness and in want of all things. Think about what we do to serve our enemy. Think about what we do to serve the oppressor. In hunger and in thirst, in nakedness and in want of all things. We're the only people in this country that are in want of all things. We don't have control of our destiny at all outside of this truth. You understand? Anybody outside of this truth has no control of their destiny. In want of all things, in nakedness and everything. We're the only ones that wonder how we gonna get this rent paid. How we gonna eat them up? How we gonna feed the children? What we gotta do? What we gotta do? Well, I think if we go ahead and we sell this right here, we can get a couple out and we can live for the next 2 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? We're the only people that do that. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Natives. Think about it, right? They got Native Americans living on reservations. A reservation is nothing but a prison camp. That's it. Hispanic brothers on the border in cages on the border. 1,500 children still missing. Think about this. That was 3 years ago. We're the only people that have been beat out of our language, beat out of our understanding, out of our morality. The only people. No other nation of people can claim that. This is what happens when you trust in your enemy. This is what happens. We are the product. But right here in the ISUPK, this is the answer right here. Coming back, understanding who you are. And listen, we don't just tell you who you are, but we have a solution. Listen, the Bible tells us everything that we have to do. Gather yourself together. Listen, those people don't like you. Come together. Work as one. That's the problem with us today. We don't work as one. We the only people. Listen, Asians from on one side of town working with the Asians on the other side of town. They all on one accord. And they know that if we work together, we can feed off of these niggas in the ghetto and never have an issue. Let me ask somebody a question, right? And I'm not telling nobody to go out here and do this. But when have you ever seen an Asian store broken into and robbed? When have you ever seen Asians stuck up and robbed? That happens to brothers and sisters every night. In those same neighborhoods, those Asians come and go as they please with wads of money. Think about this, right? Almost $6,000 or $7,000 a day an Asian corner store can make, especially with the EBT going on now and the card with the money on it now. Not to mention the ones that sell hot food. They can get hot food with it now. Think about it. Gather yourself together. Ye gather together, O nation I desire. We believe everybody loves everybody. We believe that, we come together. This is one big, this is one big mixing pot. Or what they call it? What they call it? Yeah, one big melting pot. America's for everybody. No, America's not for everybody. America has never been for blacks, Hispanics, and Natives. If so, somebody tell me where's our hospitals at? HBCUs, they not owned by us. Listen, FBI recruits right out of Howard and Georgetown. right out of Howard and Georgetown. Think about what's happening to us. We sell our people out just like that for the oppressor. I hate to call my man out, but Deion Sanders, why he left Jackson? Why he left Jackson State? Everybody was coming over to work with him. Warren Sapp, Terrell Owens, all of them. Make that joint a powerhouse, and then he goes to Colorado. And then what happens to him when his sons get into the NFL? They stanked on him. Told one of his sons, well, look, you're going to have to drop your father if we're going to draft you. I just wouldn't have been drafted. They say that to Peyton Manning. They say that to Eli Manning. Listen, they talked about what team he didn't want his son to go to. They didn't say that to Archie Manning when he said that about Peyton or Eli, right? Remember, Eli didn't want to go to the Chargers. So he ain't going there. What they did a flip-flop and sent him to the Giants. What did John Elway say? John Elway said, I ain't going to the Colts. Where they sent him? Out to Denver. Wasn't no issue. See, listen, this is not one big melting pot. We believe we friends. We equal. Ain't no equal in America. Either we on top or we not. God created this earth for our sake. Tells us that in the Bible. So when we going to stand on our stake? We letting everybody think about this, right? I grew up in an era where all the corner stores was owned by black people. All the corner stores is owned by black people. We got kids growing up now can't imagine stores owned by black people. All the corner stores, right? Where you see all the Asians at. People can't even imagine that. Whoa, when that happened? I was blessed enough to see that. I was blessed enough to see when you went into a corner store, if you didn't have enough money, I remember Butch and Pearline would give you credit at all the stores. If you lived in that neighborhood, that corner store, the black people would give you credit. They just write down your address. Whatever you got, you didn't have to pay no interest on it. Whatever you got, that's what you paid. What you need. Boom, boom, boom. Bag it up. They wrote it down. Pay me when you get it. You got this amount of credit right here. I'm going to give you this amount of credit. Because they knew people in the neighborhood were struggling. We took that for granted because that was normal to us. Now you got people growing up can't imagine that. I was blessed to see that. But I yearn to see it again because I know what it does for the morale of the people in the neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead. Oh, damn, was I reading that? Man, listen, I'm old, man. I'm old. Y'all gotta forgive me. I get lost myself. Look, Alizar, that's why you're a young brother in here with me. You gotta keep me on my toes, man. Look, you see how you got me, right? Thank you, Alizar. Hey, listen, let's drop that, right? Let's go to the politician. You got that one? Yeah, you see that? Yeah.
Black politicians of red breed. The first Black caucus came into existence in Congress during the Reconstruction period of 1871 through 1876. They came with high visibility, but only in rare instances.
Hey, what was that year again? What was that first year?
1871.
Okay. Remember that year, 1871. Remember the year, 1871. Go ahead.
In rare instances where Black elected officials ever in charge of or in control of anything of importance within local, state, or federal office. Blacks were effectively shorn of real political power, and as a regulated labor class, they remained at the mercy of the ruling white power structure. But their faith in the national political parties remained strong. From the 41st Congress through the 44th, 1869 through 1869 through 1877. A total of 14 blacks were at various times members of the U.S. House of Representatives. They were from South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, North Carolina, and Louisiana. There were 2 blacks in the U.S. Senate, a governor and a commissioner of education. They were all members of the party of Lincoln, Republicans, lacking an economic base. Their election was more form than substance. For all intent and purposes, their tenure ended with Reconstruction during their short period in office. They were blamed for everything that was wrong in government, even though whites held the reins of power.
Hey, listen, check this out, right? It'll go Jeremiah 14:2. Listen to this. Judah mourneth, right? Judah's us. Judah's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. We the ones that mourning today. We were in mourning back then in 1871. You understand? It says Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. Listen, what are the gates? Gates are the protection for us. Gates are our politicians. Gates are our pastors, our preachers, the people that lead us. It says Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. Languishing mean they are unaffected. You understand? They are broken. Our leadership is broken today. We have no leadership. Just like back in 1871, right? That leadership, those blacks that were in Congress, in the Senate, and things like that, were basically there for show. Just like we look at them today. It's the same thing. Nothing has changed. They are there just for show. What was that? Cory Booker did the 25.5 hours of filibuster. What did that filibuster get us? What did him filibustering get us? Nothing. 25.5 hours of talking about nothing. Standing ovation. Everybody clapping. Niggas clapping like crazy. Why? Why? I'm like, damn. You clap when you get something. When something is achieved. When something is accomplished. But they clap for absolutely nothing. Then what's the other one? What did the one that said no to reparations? He just did it last week. What's his name? Come on, somebody grab it from me. Somebody give me that name. The one that said no to reparations. Not Cory Booker, but the other one. What's the governor? Come on, somebody give me a name. Yeah. He said no to reparations. Black people don't need reparations. Westmore. That's him. Westmore. No to reparations. Negroes don't need reparations. We've come so far. That's what he said. We've come so far. We got the Black Caucus. We got black senators. We got black congressmen. And we still ain't moved an inch. We still, listen, we still getting redlined. We still getting underpaid. How far have we come? Think about this, right? Obama ain't no nigga, but he ain't pay off his student loan till his second term. How far have we come? We keep believing that because we get a little status. Think about what they just what Al-Azhar just read in the article. He said they put him there just for show. Basically, what he's saying is they put him there just for show. They gave Megan Thee Stallion the keys to the city of Houston. Wow. Because she bend over, she shake her butt, and stick out her tongue. We believe we making progress when they're doing just what they've always done and have used us. You give the keys to the city to a hoe. A hoe. So much so that, think about this now. Every time a female take a picture now, they gotta stick their butt. They gotta turn around and, with their butt showing. No self-esteem. They've destroyed us as a people. So much so that brothers out here think we gotta, I ain't got no way out. The only way out is I got sell drugs. Ain't no way out. Gotta be kidding me. You feeling me? So we got a bunch of hoes and drug dealers all over again. They did that to us in the 70s. They did that to us in the 80s, and now it's in the 2000s all over again. Think about it. Pimps and hoes. That's all we are, pimps and hoes. That's the way the world sees us. In Congress, right? In Congress, we believe because we have senators, black congressmen, we believe we've made it. We don't need reparations. Now, we're not arguing for reparations, but it's the principle, right? He says no because we have black congressmen, we have black mayors, we have black city councilmen, but we still have the highest incarceration rate in America. With black city councilmen, mayors, black commissioners, and everything black in Baltimore. But when you go down to city jail, when you go down to Supermax, when you go down to Bookings, who's down there? They're not making laws to make it better for us, to make life easier for us. They're making laws to make life easier for the oppressor. And the oppressor's still a thief. Still stealing. Ain't nothing changed with the oppressor. Anybody seen anything change with the oppressor? Listen, in Monopoly, they got everything. They own all the corners. They own all the railroad stations. They got all the houses, hotels, and everything else. They got the shoe. They got the car. They got the hat and the dog. And then they say, now y'all can come in the game. What you got, Daraj?
And back to the Emmett Till case,
You'll say back to the Emmett Till. My nephew said back to the Emmett Till case. Now we didn't finish that. Let's back to the Emmett Till case. Go ahead, nephew.
the men who killed Emmett Till, they said
because that's what our oppressor. See, listen, and you made a heavy point right there, right? And you know why? Because our oppressor loves his brothers and sisters. And this is the same love that we have to show each other. That's brotherhood. That's the class tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's brotherhood. And that's what we have to show. We have to show brotherhood. We have to put ourselves together. We have to complete ourselves. You feel me? With that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Hey, listen, we got a feast day coming up, June the 8th. It's the Feast of First Fruits. Starts at sundown. Everybody needs to be up in here. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a family time. This is how we gather together. You understand? We understand that we are a nation of people that are not desired. So we're gonna be around our friends and family and everything, the people that desire us.
That's right.
And that's how it should be. We shouldn't be around people that don't desire us. With that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer Alizar. Is this it right here, Alizar? Oh no, this one. Should say head priest. Somebody, you know, they mixed it up. Let's say head priest.
These are the security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. If a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has a particular interest in a brother or sister, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, like Brother just said, we got the Feast of First Fruit. That's next
June 8th.
June 8th.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday at 3430 Eastern Avenue. Come, drink, eat, you know what I mean? Be with brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? Remind Akim and Akwafi to check on social media such as ISPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth for events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pant, headband, and scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, Men of Israel, Amaya, which means to stand. Understand? Men of Israel, Amaya Shabbat, Amaya, Barak, Yahweh Bashim Yashah Rakatah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Barak, Adah,
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrak Thumb.
Yashmatah, Saul, which means to turn. Sisters, Amaya. Brother, Men of Israel will give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amaya Shabbat, Amaya, Barak, Yahweh Shema Adam Bashim Yashah, Yashmatah, class dismissed.
do.